Good morning. Welcome to a class on correction of sentences in relation to adverbs. This is the fifth session of six sessions on correction of sentences. It's a part of language component in the syllabus of English language for the fourth semester BCom and BBA course under the CBCS scheme in Mysore University. In this session, we will discuss on introduction to adverbs and correction of sentences in relation to adverbs. Let me tell you the importance of adverbs in one or two sentences. To speak or to write one's ideas and thoughts meaningfully in English, one should have the knowledge of adverbs. Because adverbs enable one to express his perspectives and intentions meaningfully. Adverbs make us to understand the motives and emotional depths concerning to things, place, incidents and situations of a speaker or a writer, especially in literature. That's why adverbs are essential. Meaning of an adverb: a word which add on something to the meaning of an action. It means an adverb is a word that modifies the meaning of an action by expressing something in addition to it. Let us understand through examples. Rama runs quickly. This is a very sweet mango. Ramya reads quite clearly. So in the first example, quickly shows how Rama runs, and the same quickly modifies the verb runs. In the second example, very shows how much the mango is sweet, and the same very modifies the adjective sweet. And in the last example, quite shows how far Ramya reads clearly, and the same quite modifies the adverb clearly. So, an adverb is a word which modifies the meaning of a verb, an adjective, or another adverb. It means an adverb is a word that is used to change or modify or qualifies several types of words, including an adjective, a verb, a clause, another adverb, or any other type of word or phrase in a sentence. As we let's look into the kinds of adverbs. As we know, adverbs tells us how, when, where, why, how often, how much, or under what condition an action occurs. So, based on this nature of function of the adverbs and in accordance to their meaning, we have divided them into following kinds. Namely, adverbs of time, adverbs of frequency, adverbs of place, adverbs of manner, adverbs of degree or quantity, adverbs of affirmation or negation, and lastly, adverbs of purpose or reason. Now let's look into their meaning one by one very briefly. Firstly, adverbs of time. Adverbs of time are those words which show us when something happens, like the words like before, now, daily, and lately, etc. The second one, adverbs of frequency. They are the words which express how often something happens. So words like often, seldom, frequently, and usually, etc. The third one is adverbs of place. Adverbs of place help to explain where an action happens. Words like here, there, away and backward, etc. The next one is adverb of manner. They are the words which shows how an action happens or in what way an action is carried out. So it is expressed by the words like easily, badly, bravely and quickly, etc. Next one is adverbs of degree or quantity. So they show us that how much or in what degree or to what extent an action happens. They are expressed by the words like partly, too, fully and pretty, etc. So next one is the adverbs of affirmation or negation. These are those words which show the stance of assertion or deny of an action. So there are the words like surely, certainly, authentically and not, etc. And the last one is the adverbs of purpose or reason. These are the words that help to describe why something happened. So it is expressed by the words like hence, thus, since and so, etc. So far we have discussed adverbs and its kinds very briefly. Now let us understand the adverbial error in a sentence through examples. So each examples as a pair of sentence in which the first one will be incorrect one and the second one will be the correct one. Let's look into the examples. First example, I go there usually. I usually go there. The second one is the right one because an adverb is used between the subject and the verb if the verb is of a single word. So here the verb go is of the single word. In such cases, we have to use the adverb between the subject and the verb. So I usually go there is the correct one. The second example, he already has finished his work. He has already finished his work. The second one is the correct one. Because if the verb is more than one word, then adverb is used after the first word of the verb. So here there are two verbs, has and finished. So we have to use in between those two verbs, that to be after the first verb, that is has. So he has already finished his work is the correct one. The next example is he carefully reads his book. He reads his book carefully. So here normally the adverb of manner is used after the object if an object of the verb is used in a sentence. So here his book is the object of the verb reads. So adverb should come after the object. He reads his book carefully is the correct one. The fourth example, I next week go home. I go home next week. So like the adverb of manner, it is the adverb of time. It's also used after the verb or the object of the verb. So here home is the object of the verb go. So adverb must be used after the home. So I go home next week is the correct one. Next example, There were everywhere flowers. There were flowers everywhere. The second one is the correct because adverb of place, like the adverbs of time and manner, is also used after the object of the verb if there is an object in a sentence. So flowers is the object in this sentence. So we have to use the adverb everywhere after flowers. So there were flowers everywhere is the correct one. Next example. Yesterday she spoke impressively at the function. She spoke impressively at the function yesterday. So the second one is the correct one because if two or more adverbs are used after the verb or the object, then the order must be firstly the adverb of manner followed by the adverb of place and then it must be followed by the adverb of time. So in the similar way here in this sentence we have three different kinds of adverbs. Impressively adverb of manner, function adverb of place, yesterday is the adverb of time. So first in such cases the verb or the object of the verb must be followed by the adverb of manner and then the adverb of place and lastly the adverb of time. So she spoke impressively at the function yesterday is the correct one. Let's look into the next example. He is intelligent wonderfully. He is wonderfully intelligent. Here the second sentence is the correct one because if an adverb modifies an adjective or an adverb, then adverb is used before the adjective or another adverb. So here intelligent is an adjective. So in such cases adverbs must be used before the adjectives. So he is wonderfully intelligent is the correct one. Next example. He was enough kind to help me. He was kind enough to help me. So the second sentence is the correct one because enough is always used after the word to which it modifies. To which it modifies. Here the word enough is modifying the word kind. So the kind word must be followed by the word like enough. So he was kind enough to help me is the correct one. Next example. No one was luckily killed in the accident. Luckily, no one was killed in the accident. The second one is the correct one because if an adverb qualifies the whole sentence, then the adverb is used in the beginning of the sentence. So here the adverb luckily is qualifying the whole sentence. That's why it should come first. So luckily no one was killed in the accident is the correct one. Next example. I cannot walk no further now. I cannot walk any further now. The second one is the correct one because if there are double negatives in a sentence, then it will be a wrong one because we have to use only one negative word in a sentence. Here cannot is negative word, no is negative word. So we are removing no and we are retaining cannot. So we have to say, alright, I cannot walk any further now is the correct one. Next example. With respectfully, I beg to submit. Respectfully, I beg to submit. So In this, the second one is the correct one. No preposition used before an adverb. So, with respectfully, I beg to submit. Here, with is the preposition. We should not use preposition with the adverb. So, respectfully, I beg to submit is the correct one. The next example, it is nothing else than pride. It is nothing else but pride. We have to keep one thing in mind, that if we are using else, it must be followed by but, not than. So it is nothing else but pride is the correct one. Next example, the weather is rather pleasant. The weather is fairly pleasant. The second one is the correct one. Normally, we use the word fairly in the sense of liking. So, according to the sentence, unto its meaning, the weather is fairly pleasant is the correct one. And the last example is the day is fairly hot. The day is rather hot. So, normally the adverb rather is used in the sense of dislike. So, here the day is rather hot is the correct one. With this, we will end this class. I hope you have understood the meaning of adverb and its kind and some adverbial errors and how to correct them. So, we are ending this session. Thank you. Thank you.